Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the next 6 months, June through December of 2025. You have this dog spirit that says be loyal to what you love. You also have this mouse spirit that says tend to the small things. And, I definitely think that Capricorn is being moved towards, heart-based living. So, being loyal to things that you want to do or that you love to do is going to be important. The tend to the small things card is like saying pay attention to the small details in life. And we are kind of in a detail-oriented time where you probably should pay attention to the details. I think that the small details Capricorn should pay attention to is what they really want in life. It's like if you are, busy with career and work and, all that other stuff, it's like you could be missing out on, what's important in life or what you actually want. And so I kind of feel this is saying like pay attention. But a very good reading here, Capricorn. All these readings have been very positive. And again, I said at the beginning of the year that this half of the year would be more positive, so it makes sense. But you have the Ace of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles coming up in the area of your current general energies for the next 6 months. And the Ace of Swords can be a victory or success coming in for you. And you have the 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. I mean, really amazing. So definitely could be some sort of big victory coming in for you. The thing about the Ace of Swords is that it cuts both ways. So usually we have to remove one thing so that we can have something better. That has been your story for 20 years, basically. So I don't know. You're just probably cutting things out that no longer serve you so you can have something better. The Ace of Swords is also like laser-like focus. So we have to be very focused on exactly what we want to get it. Right next to it, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, all those wands are pointing in one direction, right? So details. You need to make sure that you are aiming in one direction. Like if you don't have a goal or a wish or a dream, I would definitely come up with something to accomplish by the end of the year. And I would make it your focus, right? And you probably will surprise yourself with what you're able to accomplish if you do that. You have the King of Pentacles, definitely focused on your finances for sure. I just feel this King of Pentacles is saying that you're focused on, creating wealth. And, this isn't materialism either. This is just, kind of trying to create financial stability and long-term security. You have the 10 of Pentacles right next to him. And again, same thing. 10 of Pentacles is kind of like long-term security. It's building, leaving a legacy, building something that lasts forever. So I feel a lot of you are kind of doing that, building, leaving a legacy, or you're trying to build long-term financial security. And of course, that would be a good thing with these cards. The King of Pentacles, he builds wealth with skills. He has these grapes behind on his cloak here. What I was going to say is you have the 9 of Pentacles. She has grapes behind her. Grapes in the tarot represent something that's very difficult to grow, but he can do it well, and she can do it well on the 9 of Pentacles. So it kind of says that you have a skill that could make you very successful, but you have to use that skill. And, a lot of you could be developing skills to build your wealth, and this could be in any area of life. So I feel like that's good. You do have the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. I wouldn't worry about it too much. If you want love, you have the 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands, and Page of Pentacles all right here, right next to it. So some of you could be looking for love, and if you want love, it definitely shows up in the reading. This could be how you're feeling right now, is lonely or alone. That could also be one of the details that you're thinking about. It's like maybe you have everything else in life, but maybe you want love, and if you don't have it, you could just be feeling left out in the cold. I also feel like some of you need to focus more on your strengths, not your weaknesses. It's like you could be interested in a person, or, if there's a person coming in, you might think to yourself oh, I can't have this person or whatever. But, the 5 of Pentacles says, don't focus on all the reasons that you can't have something. Even if there's one good reason why a person would like you, maybe that's enough. But again, I feel that energy of feeling like you're not good enough or something like that, but you are. Maybe that's what you need to realize here, Capricorn. But other than that, that is the only challenging card that you have in this reading so far. So let's see. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Hangman. Yes, I think Capricorn is looking at things differently. He's hanging upside down, obviously, and the whole point of the Hangman is that he's gained a new perspective on something, and so he's looking at something from a different point of view. And these new perspectives in your life. I mean, this is very Capricorn energy right now. So this is one of those cards. Sometimes, like not this card, but I'm just saying, like this card coming up in your reading fits in very well with your astrology, I believe. Going from that Capricorn to Pluto and Aquarius, I think a lot of you have gained new perspectives on like what you want, where you want to go, what you want to do with your life, what you want your life to look like, all that stuff. So, I think this is just saying that your perspectives have changed. And the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Wands is kind of like saying, go for it. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Wands. Amazing. Ace of Wands is out with the old and with the new. So just like I said on the Ace of Swords, you could be cutting things out of your life that no longer serve you. The Ace of Wands is kind of like something inspiring coming in for you as well. So there could be kind of like a lot of inspiration, or you could be feeling more inspired at this time, which is great. The Ace of Wands is also kind of like a spark, and we have all this energy going into Aries. So I think that there could be a lot of sparks for a lot of people where they're kind of like suddenly becoming interested in, doing something or moving towards something in their life. When you think about it, Aries energy, it's like initiation. It's the beginning. It's the start. It's the spark of something. So a lot of you could be being inspired, like randomly, to do things. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. Yeah, if you want love, you're going to have to get out of the house, right? You're going to have to get out of hermit mode. The Hermit needs to shine his light. He has that light, the star, really, is stuck inside the lantern here. And he needs to shine that light out all over the place. So for you to, attract this doesn't even have to be love. Like maybe you just need social energy, or maybe you're hoping to be able to socialize. And I think all you have to do is like get out into the world. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Evil Eye card. It says, protect yourself against the evil eye so it doesn't negatively impact your life. You have this card that says, the time is now. It says, it is time to act without hesitation. Move past the old and move forward. Yeah, all your readings say this. So all your readings have been talking about this, Capricorn, like letting go of the past, moving into the future. I think all that would be amazing for you. I think moving towards things that you want and that you desire, that you want to create, would be really good. And it's like time to act. I don't really think there's much to protect yourself from. Again, the reading is very positive, but of course, doing anything you can do to protect yourself would probably be a good idea, but it's definitely time to move. We have in this row of what's coming in for you, you have the Eight of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. Eight of Wands is like charging forward. Eight of Wands is a quick conclusion or quick success, and so this is things happening very quickly. And, I literally said this in all the 2025 readings, that by the time we got to June, that things would really be taken off. And that has definitely been reflected in this set of readings, that things would really be, or are really progressing very quickly, or, we could notice more speed at this time. And there's a lot of reasons for it, but, I think a lot of you are going to be kind of taken off here, maybe even in June. Like, I don't think you're waiting 6 months. I think this is something that's happening now, where things are progressing more quickly in your life. The Eight of Wands, like I said, is also your focus. So I would make sure you are focusing on exactly what you want, not what you don't want. On top of that, for those of you that do want love, we go down to the Page of Pentacles. Eight of Wands is communication. Page of Pentacles is also communication. So you could be communicating with like a new person, or, this could be something that starts as communication. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is building and leaving a legacy. And so I think a lot of you are focused on building a certain level of financial security in your life. I feel a lot of you maybe have ideas that you need to get started on. It's almost like the not starting part is worse than if you would just get started on whatever you're thinking about committing to or building in your life. So if you would just get started, I think you would find the success much faster. Although, again, it looks like it's coming in regardless. You have all these great cards. So, a lot of you could be building great financial success. Ten of Pentacles is also an amazing love card. It's everything you want and desire in your life. So a lot of you could be building a solid connection. We even go down to the Four of Wands, which is like marriage. So for those of you that want to get married, definitely could be you attracting a connection that has marriage potential. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is a perfect match. Two of Cups is usually a person who's different than your usual type. Everybody's been getting this card since like 2022 or something like that. The only love readings I ever did on this channel, everybody, that whole set of readings, everybody had the Two of Cups, and that was in like 2022 or 2023. I can't remember which year that was. But it's funny because I think love has changed. There's a lot of astrology that kind of points to that just in general. And, I think it makes sense that a lot of people could be picking a new type of person. We also have this staff in the middle here. This is a staff for Hermes. Again, I always say Two of Cups usually starts with communication. So you could just be starting with a person. Even, the Eight of Wands can be like a friend or, someone who's part of your social circle or something like that. And, this could just be a person that you start talking to, and then it kind of like goes from there and develops into something much deeper. So you never know where you could find this love. Here you go. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. So definitely could be a love connection coming in for you. Page of Cups, sorry. I think I said Eight of Cups for some reason, but the Page of Cups can be an admirer. The other thing is again, the Page of Cups does represent a dream. He has this fish in this cup here, and that fish might not exist. That fish might be part of his imagination. And so I always say he needs to bring that fish down to earth and, make sure that that fish happens on earth. So a lot of you could have a dream that you're trying to manifest into the real world. And I feel like this cup, the Page of Cups is saying, Eight of Wands, focus on it and bring your dream down to earth. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Chariot here. Yeah, Chariot is more quick movement. Some of you are like clearly charging right towards success with the Eight of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands even, Ten of Pentacles. The Chariot is about taking control. This kind of gives me the energy of just like knowing what is going to work. Like sometimes I think it takes us a long time to figure out like what is working in work or business or however we make money. But it's like once we figure it out, then we're like off to the races. And I get that feeling for you here, Capricorn, where, a lot of you could be figuring things out in work or business that are really allowing you to take off more quickly or to find success much more quickly. And, of course, that would be a good thing. With the Two of Cups, you have the Emperor, which you have twice here. The Emperor, you definitely could be attracting an Emperor into your life. So if you're looking for a divine counterpart, then this could be a person. Whenever this happens, where we have a card here, and then we have another card that starts the next row, I always say that it's like the universe is kind of zooming in on that Emperor energy. So I kind of get two things here. Number one, the Emperor is about bossing up. With all the energy going into Aries now, we all kind of have to boss up and, take control of our lives. But this could also be love, could also be a person. In your next row you can't make this up either here, Capricorn. I didn't even see this. In the area of messages from your future self, you have this love card. You have this card that says success on it as well. So you could be attracting love and success. I mean, the reading does look like that just in general. Like I said, Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It is like having it all. And, the Ten of Pentacles doesn't just magically happen. Ten of Pentacles is something that we will all work on forever. It is, kind of building, leaving a legacy, which is something that we will do for a long time. So a lot of you have been working towards this for a long time, but you definitely could be creating or finding success. Like I said, we're zooming in on the Emperor here. The Emperor is about taking control, making things happen, taking advantage of opportunity. I kind of feel like some of you, like I don't want to call this a second chance, because I don't think this is a second chance coming in for you, like as in you're getting the same, opportunity that you missed in the past. But I kind of do feel that you are getting a chance to do something that you missed out on in the past. But it's like not the same situation. If it's a job, I think it's maybe a new job that's like similar but different. If it's love, it's like a new person but different. He has this Ankh right here, and the Ankh is actually a symbol of rebirth. So a lot of you could be getting this like second chance to rebirth something in your life, and that's why I feel second chance vibes on that card. Next, you have the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I think being more spontaneous and random would be a good thing for you here, Capricorn. I just feel spontaneous energy on this card. I'm not really getting anything, I'm not getting anything else. I feel that he's just encouraging you to be more go with the flow, like be open to random opportunities. If you're looking for love and your friends invite you out, go out. If you're looking for business opportunities and a random opportunity presents itself, explore it and see how it does, right? You can always quit if you don't like it. So I think the Knight of Wands is encouraging kind of like taking advantage of those spontaneous random opportunities, because those could be the things that really help you out the most in the future. And, that's really what I would be doing with that card. You have the Four of Wands. Definitely could be attracting a person that you marry in the future. You obviously don't have to marry this person right now. The Four of Wands is also a card of freedom, and the Knight of Wands has true freedom because he is spontaneous. He doesn't, box himself in. He is definitely outside the box, so to speak, right? And that type of energy is popping into my head with the Four of Wands. Like, the more outside the box you can be for the next, I would say longer than the next 6 months. Jupiter is moving into your opposite sign in the middle of the month, of the middle of June, I should say. And, it's moving into Cancer, which is going to be very good for you. But, like I said, I think that energy could be bringing more freedom, more playfulness into your life, more willingness to kind of like just see how things go. And I think adopting that like free, carefree mentality, or whatever you want to call it, would be a very good idea with the Four of Wands. Because the Four of Wands can represent commitment, but the Four of Wands is really the card of freedom. And I think that Capricorn needs more freedom. You need to put yourself in situations where you are free. And that's what I would be doing with that Four of Wands. With the Emperor, you have the King of Swords. I definitely have said this to you before. I think that you are either you are attracted to, or you are attracting a person that's hard to read, or there's something about it that you don't know. I don't know how to describe that, Capricorn. It's like there's something, if you're attracted to a person, it's like maybe you just don't know anything about them, or maybe you just don't know, like if they would be interested in you or something. I feel very mysterious about this King of Swords. Like, he isn't necessarily considered mysterious, but the King of Swords is, like, there is something about him that can be quiet. And I'm saying him, but this could be whatever, gender you're attracted to. So it's like if you're attracted to a quiet person, or it's like maybe you just met a person and you just don't know a lot of details. That's really what's popping into my head here, is like a lack of details. On a personal level, I feel like this card is very good for you. The King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom. And so it basically says that you have the knowledge and wisdom necessary to take control of your situation in life and really make it better. With the Knight of Wands, yes, you have the Queen of Cups dog card. It says, be loyal to what you love. That is the Queen of Cups. She is loyal to what she loves, and that's it. She follows her heart. She has this big cup right here. I always say it looks like a trophy, and, I think that she puts her heart above everything else, and she really listens to what her heart is telling her to do. And so I would be following your heart at this time, Capricorn, because I feel that it is guiding you towards more freedom, with that Knight of Wands. For whatever reason, like, yeah, sure, the Knight of Wands, like, yeah, he's not really a card of freedom, but I feel like he is in your reading. I feel like he is just free. Like, again, the way I read, I put myself in your shoes. I feel like he is free to do whatever the hell he wants. It's like he is truly the master of his universe in your reading. I feel like he's the master of creating whatever he wants. And I think that a lot of you need to realize with the Five of Pentacles that you have the power right now to like create whatever you want. But I feel you have to follow your heart to do it. With the Four of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for love, you could be like the wounded warrior, or you could be there could be some old wounds that you are healing from. The Nine of Wands is, again, it's funny I said second chance on that Emperor card, because the Nine of Wands, he's kind of giving something one last shot. He's willing to, he is the card of perseverance, which is definitely a Capricorn energy, and he's willing to try something one last try, or, one last time. And so, a lot of you could be doing that. You could be, it doesn't even have to be love. This could be anything where you're giving something one last shot, or you're kind of like trying something one last time. And that is the feeling I get off of that card. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this denial card. It says, are you refusing to face reality about some aspect of your life? It's coming up in the good stuff, so you probably are facing reality. You have this influencer card. It says you have just the right combination of qualities to connect with an audience, inspire change, and create positive impact. So yeah, I think a lot of Capricorns could be creating an impact. It doesn't mean you have to be an influencer. You could be becoming more influential in life or at work or in your career. And so I think a lot of you could just be becoming more influential with these cards. Again, you have wisdom to share based off the last 20 years of your life. And the King of Swords also says that you have more wisdom to share. So I just think it's time for you to share your wisdom. You have the Seven of Swords, Nine of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles. I think that Capricorn is making their life easier. As crazy as that sounds, I know that your past 20 years has been a struggle, Capricorn, but the Seven of Swords is about doing something in a better way. You know, he's stealing these swords from the army in the background, and he's just making his life more simple by avoiding conflict and stealing the swords. I think for Capricorn, it's like the beautiful thing about the next several years for you is that you will be making life more simple. You know, as I always say, like I feel like I shouldn't have to clarify this, but I do. You know, life is not meant to be easy, so I hate to tell you that, but you know, life isn't necessarily meant to be easy, but there are definitely things we can do to make things more simple. And this is saying, you know, details with that mouse card. I feel like it's saying you need to pay attention to the things you can do to make things that are hard easier. Will it be perfect? Hell no. But, you know, if you make the more things you make easier, the better in your life. And that's what I would be focusing on with that card. You have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, really amazing for money, which makes sense based off the astrology. I think there are tons of opportunities for you to improve your finances, to be more stable financially, to increase your wealth. A lot of you probably are focused on doing that. And, you know, for once in your life, I think you actually have the opportunity to do that. You know, Capricorn is always climbing. I always say that, you know, for Capricorn, it's hard because it's like you're always climbing the mountain. You get to one peak and then you have to go to the next, right? But I think for Capricorn, the trick is to cement those plateaus. Like you go up, right? You improve something in your life. You're going sideways. Eventually, Capricorn gets sick of it, and then they have to do something else to improve and grow. But your job is to like, how can you make these flat moments where you have an improvement? How can you cement that improvement into your life so that when you go to the next thing, that plateau doesn't drop? Which is, I think, usually what happens to Capricorn is like they make one improvement, but then to make the next one, like this improvement in their life kind of falls away. And, you know, I hope that probably doesn't make sense. But if it does, I think a lot of you could be working on that with this card. You have the Page of Pentacles. Definitely could be a new person for those of you that want a person. And again, this could just be communication. Like I said, Page of Pentacles usually starts as communication. I also think a lot of you are probably learning a lot about money, or you already have learned a lot of lessons about finances. And so you could be like improving your finances or learning better ways to deal with your finances. You know, he's the card of studiousness. And the more you learn, the more you earn with the Page of Pentacles. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Four of Wands, again, marriage. You know, this could be something that looks very different as well here, Capricorn. It's like, you know, maybe you thought that to get marriage, that it would be some sort of Cinderella story or whatever the hell you want to call it. And, you know, the way that this comes together could be very different, but, you know, if it works, it works. With the Nine of Pentacles, yes, you have the Ten of Cups. Some of you literally could be going from single to being taken very quickly here. The Ten of Cups is like happy home, happy family. It's also fortune after difficulty. We see a lot of improvements in this reading. And like I said, all these readings have been about improvements more or less. So I do think a lot of you are just making improvements in your life, and things are probably getting better as well, which is good. With the Page of Pentacles, here you go. You have the Star. Didn't I say something about the Star? I think so. I could be wrong. Capricorn. Did I call you Taurus too? I don't know. I'm losing my mind. But Capricorn, I think that the Star is going to be very good for you. You know, we were talking about the Star in the Hermit's Lantern, but you know, I think there's something deeper going on here. The Star sometimes says you have to be the star. You have to be the one that shines your light, that stands out, that gets attention. And I feel that's what the Star is saying. The Star is a card of hope, faith, and renewal. And in the good stuff, it can also represent receiving a wish. So I think a lot of you could be getting something that you wish for, or there could be a wish coming true for you, which is good. You have this Lily card. It says spiritual love on it. There you go. If you want love, definitely could be a very spiritual connection. Could be like a divinely guided connection as well. Again, the King of Swords I always like the weird thing about the King of Swords in love is that sometimes it can't be understood. It's like you could just feel magnetically drawn to a person. You could think you're like being crazy, but you're not. It could be like a very divinely guided connection. You have this rainbow card. It says the most difficult part of a situation is over, which is true for you, Capricorn, for sure. I'm not saying that life is going to be easy, especially between now and 2033. I think life is going to be hard for most people. And but again, what can you do to make it better? I always say it's like, the reason I talk about it is because I want people to do things to make it better, because you can't. That's why I talk about it. People always keep saying, they're like, well, if you talk about it, then you're manifesting it. And I'm always like, no, it's like the energy exists. It's going to happen. If people don't do anything about it, they're going to have a hard time. So that's why I talk about it. And so whatever, it's like you have to take action to improve things. But, definitely for you, I think things are getting a lot better and improving. You have this January card and you have this rat card. It says someone working behind your back. I think that you are... if you have had a person working behind your back, this could be exposed to you, and at this time, and so you could be learning the truth. You have this scissors card. It says disappointment in some affair. I kind of think this is the energy that Capricorn has to get over, is like all the disappointments. I say it to you in almost every single reading now. It's like I think the hardest part of your past many years has been just the disappointments, like doing things thinking they're going to work and then getting disappointed. And I think that's making it harder for you to start things. But I think you need to realize that things aren't going to be a disappointment much longer. You have this chair empty card. It says someone is leaving your life. I think someone is entering your life is what this card should say, clearly. It's like we don't see anyone leaving your life in the reading. I think what we see is someone taking this chair. Someone is taking this throne. So there definitely could be new love for those of you that want it. But pretty straightforward stuff here, Capricorn. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.